Hello, welcome back to another financial analysis video with myself, Moeed Amin, and Ted Wainman. So today we're going to be analyzing the financial statement of a famous, well-known company, Lego. So we're going to be digging into their financial statement, and the purpose for these videos and this show is to help you improve your business acumen. And there is no better way to do that than to understand the language of business, which is finance. So we're going to be digging into the financial statements of well-known companies, and this is how we help you understand those financial statements. So today we're going to be looking at Lego. Quick background on Lego, just so you have some context before we go into the financial statement. So very well-known, famous toy company based in Denmark. Founded in 1932, and they're well known because of their interlocking plastic bricks, but that is not their only product line or service line. They also have amusement parks, which is named Legoland around the world, and they also have Lego Media, and Lego Media is basically their digital arm. And recently they announced a kind of not a merger, but a partnership with Epic Games, and Epic Games are the producers of Fortnite. And the reason why, a big part of that is to capitalize on the growing trend of the metaverse. So although this company is not a public business, it is in fact a private company, and we normally look at share price. We won't be doing that today, but I will give you an update on the finances for the first 6 months of this year, which is 2022. And that will give you some really, really interesting context, because this company continues to grow. And for the first 6 months of 2022, their revenue was up 17%. And in fact, consumer sales was up by 13%. So still very much growing as a business. They now have they opened 66 stores so far, additional stores, sorry. I think their goal is to do 150. So we'll see by the end of 2022 if they manage to do that. But right now, in total, they have 833 stores around the world, not including their Legoland and the amusement parks, of course. So we're going to be digging into that. We're going to have a look at whether the annual statement can tell us a story about Lego and how they're kind of managing their finances, what's important to them, their liquidity ratio, etc. So that when you look at their forward statements, half-year statements, future statements, with the help of our video, you'll be able to analyze those financial statements a lot faster and with more accuracy. So let's hand over to Ted, where we will run through the financial statement and kind of teach you how to do this yourself.
Thank you very much, Moeed. Good to see you again, and welcome to all of our viewers. Should I say welcome back if you are a subscriber, and if you are a subscriber such as Anion Goyle, you can ask for these analysis. So this is a request. Most of our videos that we do are requests, and if you'd like us to do a video for you, a company that you'd like us to look at, please do subscribe and just leave a note. Please also do forget to like and share as well the video if you like it. So here we are. We're going to look at Lego, and we are going to look at their annual report and accounts. Now, Moeed, a little interesting fact about Lego. Did you know that Lego is the world's biggest producer of car tires? Yep, that's right. You read it here first. Lego produce more car tires than any other company in the world. A little bit of trivia for you. But we're going to avoid the trivia, and we're going to whiz through their annual report down to their financial statements. So here they are. They're available on their website, and we're going to start by looking at the income statement. Here is the income statement for Lego. So what do we see? First of all, we notice that this company is they're quoting in Danish krona. Okay, so we can see over here. It says Danish krona and in millions of Danish krona. So their revenue for the year, the top line sales, 55,000 million, which is 55 billion Danish krona. We're going to be dealing in Danish krona, but that's about $8 billion US. Okay, so that kind of gives you a ballpark as to what we're talking about. So $8 billion, 55 billion Danish krona. Okay, that's a lot. And year on year, big increase. So big growing company, as Moeed mentioned. That's a 27% increase year on year. Cost of sales, that's reduction costs. Cost of making those bricks, well, they're just bits of plastic, aren't they? So the costs are actually pretty small, 30%, leaving them with a whopping 70% gross margin. That is massive. They then got their sales and distribution costs, the rest of the admin and the overheads, a little bit of other operating expenses, leaving them with an enormous 17 billion operating profit, a 31% operating margin. They pay very little interest, suggesting they've got very little debt. They pay some tax, and they're left with about 13 billion of retained earnings, also a profit, the bottom line profit, up from the previous year of 10 billion, and they're on about a 23-24% net margin. Okay, so these guys are, they're just making, I mean, this is almost akin to a money printing machine. Very, very successful. You think about the cost that you pay for some of these products, and really it's just bits of plastic which has just been stamped into molds. So really very, very profitable indeed. 25% bottom line, looks pretty bulletproof there. Here's their balance sheet. So we're looking at the assets, the non-current assets, things they need to run the business, mainly property, plant and equipment. So this is the manufacturing sort of facilities that they have. You can see that they've got a little bit of right of use assets. So that's stuff that they bought on hire purchase, but most of it is owned by them. And in terms of their current assets, they've got a little bit of inventory, 3.5 billion of actual inventory. Trade receivables, don't forget, they're not selling to the general public. They'll be selling wholesale, so there'll be there's an 8.4 billion of trade receivables. This is an interesting line here: loans to related parties. I'm not sure exactly what that relates to, but it looks like there are sort of other companies outside of this group that they are making loans to, and that's probably to say we've got so much cash we can just lend it out, and then they've got 1 billion of cash sitting on the balance sheet as well. So there's our total assets, about 48 billion. In terms of the liabilities are over on this side here. Current liabilities down here. Here's the current liabilities. We can just double check that current liabilities against the current assets. So liquidity is definitely not an issue for these guys. Look at the borrowings. Very little numbers in borrowings. So the current liabilities is basically trade payables, and a little bit of this other debt. Not sure exactly what that is. Probably something to do with the interrelated parties. And then they've also got some lease liabilities. So these lease liabilities will sit alongside the right of use assets. So really, these guys, I mean, there's very little debt sitting on their balance sheet. Their equity, here's their equity. Very, very strong, 30 billion of equity. The non-current liabilities are, really nothing to speak about. And it's all funded through this retained earnings. So profits being made and being put back into the business. So this is looking, pretty strong for these guys. Movement in equity, just to see the movement in equity, you'll notice that they are paying dividends. So there's about in fact, not exactly, there's exactly 8 billion corona is being paid out each year. There's the profit for this year. There's the profit for the previous year. So they're making a profit, and either most or a substantial amount of that profit is being paid out. Some of it is being reinvested in order to fund the future growth. Remember, this is, as Moeed said, a private company. So somebody somewhere is getting a lot of money out of this. Cash flow, here's our cash flow statement. As we'd expect, very, very strong cash flow. So they're generating lots and lots of cash flow. A little bit of investment going on, not a huge amount, but then, to a certain extent, you could argue they don't need to do a huge amount of investment. It's, they're just ticking along. Depreciation is about 2.25 billion. So 3 billion of investment means that they're investing slightly above their depreciation. And then in the financing, here's the financing bit. So remember the three parts of the cash flow. This is the sort of cash profit. This is the cash that's invested, capex, and then we've got the effects of financing. So little bit of debt refinancing going on, repaying their lease liabilities. This is that kind of related parties going on. Okay, so we can kind of read these two together. This kind of, payments to and receipts from, and then there are the dividends that they're paying out each year. So, at the end of the day, they're sort of ending up with pretty much, flat cash flow and maintaining that balance in the bank of about 1 billion krona. And that's kind of, that's basically about it, Moeed. I mean, it's we've obviously there's no share price to look at because there isn't a, it's not a quoted company. So I guess, the only other thing to notice, I don't know what the CEO paid. I was digging around for that. But interesting enough to see that the employee remuneration, we can see that, which is on page 24. And it gives you a little note on the expenses. So that's the expenses. So here's the employee costs. So total employee costs are about 10 billion, and the average number of full-time employees. So this is a kind of FTE, is a kind of, so don't forget, some people will do shift working, and so they'll obviously be paid less. So what we do is we translate the shift workers and the part-timers into a FTE, a full-time equivalent, and we divide one of those by the other. We end up with a salary of about 500,000 Danish krona, which is about £60,000. Okay, so if you work there, first of all, you can see whether you're above or below average, but it looks to me like this is a company which is worth working for. I think they are very generous to their staff in terms of the average remuneration. That's kind of my take, is that it looks like they are doing pretty well. So there you go, Moeed. That's it in a nutshell. There is and pretty quick, I think. So there is Lego for you. It's very profitable, as we'd expect, and it looks a pretty solid balance sheet. No gremlins there, at least none that I could find.
Yeah, that is still really, really interesting as a business to look at that, and really big profit margins, which was surprising, to be frank, and good to kind of learn as well. So yeah, and Ted shared that this was a request. About 98% of the companies we analyze are requests from you, the viewers. And you can very easily do that by subscribing. And then on any of the videos, if you just leave a note in the comment section telling us the name of the company, as well as the context for why you're interested in their financial analysis. So whether you're selling to a company like Lego, for example, and you want to know a bit more about what's happening there. If you're thinking about investing in the company, obviously with Lego, that's not the case, but with any other public company, or even if you are coming up for an interview with them, and you want to look smart and credible and get that role, then do let us know. If you like this video, click on the like button. If you know someone that's interested in Lego, do share this video with them. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you are notified of any other videos that we publish. And we do about 2 a week. So until the next video, thank you, everyone. We'll see you on the next one.
Good to see you, Moeed. Catch you later. So I hope you enjoyed that video and found it useful and informative. Now, if you want to know more about what I do, then you can visit Talk Financials and find out about the training workshops and the clients that I work with. And the QR code is on your screen right now. If you are interested in being able to do this yourself, to do some financial analysis, there's a couple of resources. There is an online workshop. It's available on my website, or you can click on the QR code and it'll take you straight through to this online workshop where you can learn to read and understand and interpret financial information yourself. Alternatively, there is a book available at all good bookstops, particularly a very big online one, and the QR code once again will take you through to the opportunity to buy the book, and there is also a Kindle edition. Otherwise, that's everything from me. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. More subscribers means that you're going to get notification about new videos coming up, and also the opportunity to ask questions, and do recommend any videos any companies that you'd like me to analyze for you. I think we've got a couple of suggested next videos coming up. So please do take the opportunity, have a look at the other videos, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you on the next video.